For most of human history, people were afraid of silence. Now the fear is different. The modern fear isn't silence, it's interpretation. Because the moment people start interpreting you, your words stop being yours. They become raw material for someone else's version of you. Not what you meant, not what you said, but what people decide you meant. And the moment that happens, you stop controlling who you are. And that's where the real problem begins. This episode reflects observations, not instructions, not advice, not a guide on how to communicate better. Just patterns that appear when you watch people long enough. Interpretation remains yours. And if something here feels uncomfortably familiar, that recognition is voluntary. No one forced it. Something changed in the way people talk. Not the language, the risk. People think communication became easier. It didn't. It became defensive. People don't just express ideas anymore. They protect themselves from interpretation. Have you noticed how much people explain themselves now? Not just what they think, but what they meant, what they didn't mean, what they definitely didn't mean. A single sentence rarely travels alone anymore. It arrives with context, with clarification, with disclaimers. Instead of just speaking, people now bring an internal lawyer. Every sentence is reviewed before it leaves the mouth. Edited, softened, protected. Not from misunderstanding, from interpretation. This isn't conversation. It's preemptive defense. The moment people interpret your words, the story stops belonging to you. You said one sentence, but 10 people heard 10 different meanings. One hears arrogance. Another hears weakness. Someone hears offense. Someone hears a confession you never made. And suddenly the conversation is no longer about the sentence. It's about the version of you that appeared inside someone else's mind. And that version travels faster than the real one. Because the real one requires context. Interpretation requires imagination. Once interpretation begins, control disappears. Because meaning no longer belongs to the person who spoke. There are never just two people in a conversation. There are three: you, the listener, and the version of you that already exists inside their mind. A reconstruction, built from fragments, past experiences, assumptions. That version speaks first, and the real you arrives late. Explaining yourself constantly is exhausting, not because speaking is difficult, but because you're trying to control something that never belonged to you. You can control the sentence, you can control the tone, you can control the context, but you cannot control the mind that receives it. Communication doesn't end when you speak. It ends when someone decides what you meant. The more people try to control interpretation, the less natural communication becomes. Every sentence becomes careful. Every opinion becomes filtered. Every thought becomes optimized for the safest possible reaction. When safety becomes the priority, honesty becomes negotiable. People talk more than ever. More posts, more explanations, more clarification. And yet, understanding quietly disappears. Because communication scales easily, understanding does not. We spend a lot of energy trying to be fully understood, but full understanding comes with a strange side effect. It fixes you in place. Once people believe they understand you, you stop evolving in their mind. You become predictable, defined, finished. Misunderstanding may be frustrating, but it keeps you unfinished, and unfinished things are still alive. If you stay here, we'll keep examining how modern culture reshapes the human interior, identity, belonging, meaning, freedom, But in this universe, there's another division looking at the same reality from a different angle. Not the human experience, but the systems that shape it. That's Dark Side Protocol. Interpretation remains yours.